Good morning to all of you out there who are watching. Oh my gosh, I've just got an itchy nose. Does that mean I'm going to be vexed? Absolutely not. I refuse to be vexed. I absolutely refuse to be vexed. I was a little vexed yesterday. Would you like to hear my story of yesterday? Well, first of all, let me say welcome to my spirit guide Gregor, who, as always, is standing to my right side. And we're saying hello to Kachoro, but he's out for the count. He's laid on the cold floor. So can we say also good morning, Chris?
Good morning, everyone.
So talking of being vexed, I was I vexed? I'm not sure. I was a bit. Because you know how you have to call, the mortgage people, the insurance people, the whatever, the telephone, all of these people who belong to these big corporations, which all of us have to deal with, right? So I'd put a call into one of these places, and of course, due to COVID, there is a wait list. It's not really due to COVID at all. It's just, I can't remember what they used to say before COVID, but anyway, you always had to wait and wait. And so they gave the option, if you leave your number and we'll call back. And I'm thinking, oh, great, that's what I'll do then. And an hour went by. And an hour and a half went by, and I'm thinking, they probably don't have my number. So I called back. And all I got was a machine saying, if you've left your number, please wait. Anyway, so 3 hours went by, 4 hours went by. I remember telling you about this, Chris. So you know at this point, I'd gone from, okay, maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I didn't leave my number properly. Why haven't they called me? I called 3 times to see if they'd got my number and couldn't get through at all. And this went on for the whole of the afternoon, part of the morning and the afternoon. And on it went. And then I think probably 5 hours later, I'd given up. I just thought, I'm just going to have to call back in the morning. 5 hours later, sure enough, somebody called me back. Very bright. And how are you? And how can we help you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, finally, I've got somebody. So then it was just a small question I had, just a little thing that needed to be sorted out. Just not even that important, except if I don't sort it out, it becomes important. You know how that is, right? And then, so I told her what the issue was. I wonder if you can, just give me a little bit of guidance as to what I need to do. And she said, you've got the wrong office. You've got the wrong office.
Oh,
Let me
no.
give you another number. And I thought, but she said, but you can't get hold of them because they close at 6 o'clock at night. So, and by this time it was about 8 o'clock. And so I've got to do the whole thing all over again today. So, it does frustrate me. It's so annoying because here's the thing, Chris, I don't know about you, but here's the thing that really ticks me off the most is that for some unaccountable reason, people think that their time is much more important than your time, right?
It seems like that sometimes, for sure.
You're being nice, aren't you? Being reasonable. You're trying to be spiritual about this whole thing, aren't you? You don't want to say what the heck was going on, do you? You just want to be nice. Yeah, unless it happens to you. So anyway, that was my in the end, I have to tell you, I was not waiting for 5 hours seething. At some point I gave up and started knitting. I thought I'll just get on with my knitting. And then another irritation occurred because I put my knitting down halfway through to pick up the call. And then when I picked it back up again, I realized I'd done the cable in the wrong place. Had to undo it. Now I've dropped a stitch. Just put it all in the bag. I shall deal with it later. Today's going to be a very good day, right, Chris?
I certainly hope so. So does that mean it's like your snowball story and energy? Like energy attracts like energy?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was, you know, anyway, there it is. And the stupid thing was, instead of sort of putting it down and thinking I'll do it when I've got better light tomorrow, I decided I was going to fix it and couldn't fix it, so I made it worse. Anyway, that's my story of yesterday. But there are people who are suffering with far worse issues than my little hiccup of the day. So I try and remember that. I thought the theme today would be, I thought, in fact, Chris, what do you think? Did this for an idea? It sort of came to me this morning, excuse me, when I woke up, because we were talking about having themes on a Thursday, which we used to do. And I thought, well, you know, we're coming to the point of Thanksgiving in the USA, and Canada, I think, have already had their Thanksgiving. Was it last week or the week before? But as Thanksgiving is coming up, it does make us think of families, and it does make us think of the fact that with COVID, you know, there are going to be more lockdowns. Apparently, I was talking to a friend earlier on in England who is on lockdown from tomorrow, I think. So it, you know, again, we're sort of at the mercy of what other people think we should or shouldn't do. And I know that the rules are in place to protect us, but are they really protecting us? Is that what is really going on? I'm really not sure anymore. But Thanksgiving, generally speaking, in this country, I think it was originally a celebration of the joining together of the Native Americans and the what do you call them? I don't want to say the white man because
let's just say settlers.
The settlers, then, thank you. So the joining together and celebrating, but I think it has become a time of giving thanks. It has become a time of family. It has become a time when family is united. And that presupposes that all families are happy to be united or reunited at this time. But there is a lot of estrangement going on in families, and some of that estrangement has nothing to do with fighting or arguments. It has to do with that, you know, somebody lives on one side of the country or one side of the world, and somebody else lives on the other side of the world, so they can't actually get together. Then, of course, we've got the estrangement, which is forced on us because of COVID or sickness or what have you. And of course, then there are those families who have this the issue going on with fighting and arguing and jealousies amongst their family. I had a consultation, unfortunately, this week with a well, not unfortunately, but unfortunate situation that this lovely lady had, and it was over wills and money and families falling out and people not being happy with what parents have left one child as opposed to leaving money to another child. And it is so hard when these things happen, and I've been so involved in so many times when people have had issues of wills and not thinking the will is fair and so on and so forth. And you know, I've always said to Samantha, we're fortunate in that I've only got one daughter and one grandson, so they, whatever is left when I'm gone is all theirs. If there's nothing left, it's just too bad. That's what my daughter says. Just spend it all, mum. And but even so, you know, when there's two or three siblings, or there might be only one sibling, then one child. There might be only one child, and a parent might leave everything to a cat's home or a dog's home or some institution or something or another, and people get so worked up about it all. But here is my theory, and I'd love to hear your points of view on this. So I've always said to Samantha, and Samantha has always, thank goodness, Samantha is my daughter, she's always been in agreement with me. What's mine is mine. And you've earned it, Mum, and so you do with it whatever you want. Now, I think she'd be upset if I did leave it to a cat's home or a dog's home, but at the same time, as it's my money or my property, and I'm saying this to all of you out there who have been upset and have had this angst going on. And it is so hard. I know for you to understand this, if your parents leave everything to one sibling and nothing to you. But it is their choice after all. At the end of the day, my money, I can do with it what I like. So if I want to pour it down the drain, if I want to give it to the cat's home, actually it would be the dog's home, if I would give it to the cat and dog's home, or if I would just give it to the neighbours, or if I just would fritter it away, it's my money. I've earned it. I've worked hard for it. Parents work hard for what they get, and they should be entitled to do anything and everything they want with it without anybody batting an eye. As I've said, if I left everything I had to the dog's home, my daughter might bat an eye, but at the end of the day, she would accept. She might not be pleased with me, but she would accept if that's what you want to do, then hey, that's what you want to do. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
On what's left after I'm gone? My two boys, they're in full agreement that I hold too much and that they're just going to give everything away because they are not interested in anything I have collected. And I think that's the general thought of millennials nowadays. They don't want what their parents had. They just want what they have. So be it. I just hope that they save all of my notes from all of your classes and the spiritual stuff in case I have any grandchildren down the line so they can take a peek at it. That's all I care about. Or the furniture my dad made. Let that keep passing down.
Yes, but what if you left it not to them? What if you said, you know what, you don't want it, so I'm leaving it to my neighbour? Then what?
They would probably be, yay, I don't have to clean it up.
What I've said to Samantha is, don't just throw it out. Make sure that you're not throwing out. I don't care if she keeps one. I mean, I'm a collector. I like silver, and I'm a collector of crystal. I think those two things are sort of things that I've collected over the years. Victorian stuff mostly, because and I do have a lot of Victorian furniture also. But I like that particular era, but I get it if she doesn't want it. I don't care what she does with it, but for her own benefit, make sure that you're not throwing away something that is valuable that you could sell if you wanted to. And I have a pendant which years ago, you'll find this funny. Years ago, my daughter was probably about 10 or 12 years old at the time, and it was a Saturday morning. We were sitting around. We were both in our PJs, and I used to wear this pendant all the time. I'd wear it in bed, out of bed, whatever, and it's a very nice little gold piece. So, and it's the initial R. It says R on there, right? And so so at some point I noticed my daughter sort of staring sort of vacantly, but at me, and right there. And at some point I said to her, what are you staring at? She said sort of, what names begin with R? And I said, Rosemary, Ruth, Richard, Rob. And then I stopped and said, why? She said, well, I was just thinking, if I have a baby, I would have to name it something R in order for it to get that.
Wow.
At 10 or 12 years old, she was coveting this thing. But actually, I've been thinking, yeah, well, I don't know. Should I give it to, should I have it sort of made into a more manly little pendant, or what should I do with it? Or should I just give it to my daughter in memory of me? I'm pretty sure she'd like it. Sort of, the things that go on in your head. I know that she wouldn't refuse the gold, but I do know that she would refuse the crystal maybe. And I've got some lovely crystal decanters, which I love. But guess what? If you want to sell them, sell them. Or if you want to give them away to somebody who appreciates, I guess that would be okay too. why are we talking? Oh, yes, family. Right. But we cannot give family away so easily, or can we? Because I know that there are so many people who do give family away easily. They haven't spoken to a brother or a sister for years and years. I certainly haven't spoken to my eldest sister for, I can't remember when. And the last time we did speak, it wasn't pleasant. But I come from a dysfunctional family. I'm interested. Do we have any comments out there, Chris, so far? What do we do when we fall out with people? What do we do? How do we deal with that?
We do have many comments. They don't have
Well,
the answer to that. They're hoping you'll give them the answer to their issue.
all right, let's
But
go for it.
but I wanted to say two things. Dean is on,
Hi,
and
Dean.
he absolutely wants you to know that he fed his Christmas cake and his hands just smell lovely.
He's made his Christmas cake. You just fed the Christmas cake. Oh, Dean, good, good. I hope you're not going to soak it too much and turn it into a pudding this year. But thank you. Yeah, I've got to feed mine a bit later on. Yeah,
And he was also saying he agrees the millennials absolutely do not want any of his stuff either.
such a shame, right? Such a shame. But at the same time, hey, it is what it is. We've had our time. It should be theirs now. Okay. All right. Let's have these
You're
comments.
ready for the first question?
Question or comment?
Okay, first question's from Michael.
Okay, Michael.
Hello, Rosemary. Thank
Hi.
you for all that you do. You are so fortunate to have Gray Eagle and Chris. In 1993, my mother passed away. My father walked away circa 1997. He stayed gone until about 2011.
Ooh,
No one knew his whereabouts for that entire time.
that's
In, two,
15 years, 14 or 15 years he was gone.
in 2013, he reached out to me and we talked for at least 3 hours on the phone. He promised to call me back within a few days. Now it has been a few years and I still have not heard back from him. Whenever he resurfaces now, he always comes back just to start trouble and disappear again. There clearly will be no resolution here. Any tips on just moving on?
Oh, Michael, my heart goes out to you here. You know, I so relate. I can so relate to this. Not with a parent. I'm wondering how old you were when he first disappeared on you, because having lost one parent and then another just walking away, it must feel like the ultimate betrayal to you, and that's so painful. I too have at least one member of my family who, let's say, I choose to be estranged from. Um, we were estranged through circumstance. We were estranged after my mother did not leave a will, deliberately causing chaos. At the same time, telling my three sisters, I have a couple of brothers too, but telling my sisters, I don't want her to get anything, her meaning me, I don't want her to get anything. And this was a golden opportunity, I felt, because we all knew what my mother was. We all knew that she was mean. We all knew that she was bitter. And so, therefore, I would have viewed this as a golden opportunity to just simply put some rights back together, to make things right. Not necessarily, you can't necessarily make things right with your parent, but you can perhaps make things right with your siblings. But my siblings, and if they are listening, I do apologize, and I have at length spoken to my younger sister about this, so she knows my opinion. Unfortunately, when it comes to money and it comes to wills and it comes to all of that, greed seems to raise its little head again and again. But they had an opportunity there, which unfortunately they missed, and they divided it all amongst themselves and left me out. That's a story for a whole other that's a whole other program as to what I did then. Because all my life I'd been treated like I was not a member of the family. My mother had made it very clear, I have 3 lovely daughters, she said, whereas in fact she had 4. And all of us knew which one she was talking about when, well, not talking about, leaving out. It's difficult. My sister, a couple of years ago, my youngest sister came to stay, and we always have fun. And my oldest sister, for some reason or another, was determined. She kept every other day, she lives in Australia, every other day she kept calling my youngest sister, I want to talk to her, put her on the phone, and so on and so forth. And my youngest sister would come and say to me, she wants to talk to you. No, no, but thank you. And that may surprise all of you. It may sound tremendously unforgiving. And you have to draw your own conclusions. Be careful, though, about judging me too harshly until you know the full facts of the story. But it isn't about being having an unforgiving nature, Michael. It's coming to terms with the fact that you can see that you have 2 choices. At the end of the day, we have choices, whether it's with friends or family. If this person in your life keeps coming back into your life and keeps bringing with them their lousy, negative, rotten energy, you have 2 choices. You can deal with it, put up with it. It does no good to anybody, I have to tell you. All it will do is stress you out and stress everybody else out. And it will cause trouble amongst, it's like putting the fox in the hen house. It will cause trouble amongst everybody. And so is it worth it? In my opinion, no. Or you can just simply let go of the guilt, Michael, because there's no need for any of that. Let go of that guilt and just say, you know what? We can choose our friends, but we can't choose our family. And guess what? I'm choosing to walk away. I'm choosing to turn my back. I'm not going to have anything else to do with that person because, life is too short for people to allow people into your life who create negative energy for you and create negative energy around you. And so I choose with my sister. If you have chosen that path, I applaud you with your father, because if all he does is bring in the negative energy, then you've got to just let go and move on. That's my opinion. Let go and move on, which is exactly what I did. So any tips? Yes, just put the wall up there, they're there. And it's not that I wish my sister any ill will in any regard whatsoever. I wish her the very best. I hope that she has a good life. I doubt if she will, because of the negativity that surrounds her, but I'm not letting that negativity ruin my life. I'm not going to allow people who are negative to destroy my peace, my calm, my tranquility, and to bring negativity into my life. And so, you just have to walk away and wish them the very best that you possibly can. I hope my sister has a great life. I hope that you keeping my fingers crossed that you feel the same way with your father. As long as he doesn't interfere with mine, is what you should say, and just move on, and take him out of your phone book. Get rid of any of his numbers. If anybody in the family wants to talk about him, this is what you do. You do that. That works perfectly for me. Whenever I'm talking to somebody and they're talking about something or dealing with something I don't want in my life, hand up. Sorry, not going there. If you're going to continue, you can either leave, or hey, if it's not your house, if you're going to continue, I shall leave, but I'm not going to that negative place. There are people out there who are just they cause trouble. They love to destroy and they love to cause trouble. You can choose to be in it and be involved in it. Good luck with that. Or you can choose to walk away from it, Michael. I'm so sorry for what happened to you. But I do believe, as with myself, I believe that I've had a better life without that negativity than I would have had that negativity been, surrounding me all of the time. So in some way, I think if you can look at your father and be grateful that he actually left you alone for so long, it's the betrayal, isn't it, that hurts. But just because my mother was not a mother to me, not really. And just because someone is a mother or a father doesn't mean that they are going to be good at it. And my mother wasn't good at it. My father was struggling with it as well, I have to tell you. I'm sorry that you had that, but I think it makes what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed it's making you stronger. Sorry, we've been talked and talked. There you go, Michael. Next, Chris.
Well, both Estelle from France and Pepe are saying they love your books. Thank you for sharing your beautiful experiences.
Thank you.
And God bless you, Rosemary.
Oh, thank you so much.
Adrian is asking, good morning. My husband is in the military, and we got word that we will be moving, but not really sure where. It's still up in the air. Do you know where we will end up? It's driving me crazy.
I think we've had this, haven't we had this before? But anyway, do I know where you'll be moving? I'm asking Great Eagle. I'm going to tell you to a better place. It may not seem so initially, but eventually you'll get the idea and you'll understand it. That's as much as I can say to you right now. Next, Chris.
Well, especially during the holiday season, our military folks having to be away from their families all the time. I just want to say thank you so much for your service. Your dad was in the military. My husband was in the military, so we do understand some of those things.
Yes, I'm very proud of the fact that my father was an army man. I'm not sure it made him sort of a family man, because he was a full-time army since he was, well, he lied about his age. He went into the army when I think he was 11. He told them he was 13. In those days, they took kids when they were 13. And by the time they discovered that he wasn't 13, he was 13. So they let him stay in for whatever reason. But he ran off and joined the army, and that was him settled. And he was a full-time army man, and he really didn't know anything else, didn't know how to be anything else. And so, you could say we were army brats. The thing was that with most military families, are very often, especially with young children, very often the families are able to go with their mother or father, whoever it is in the military, and so they end up sort of traveling around with them. Um, we didn't have that. The only place that we went to was Germany when I was 6 years old, and we never ever traveled with my father anywhere else. Families are so, families are tough, aren't they? Our webinar this month is about sort of, it might sound strange to all of you, but it's about walls, and it's about brick walls, and it's about how when we're children we often the hurts and the pains and the difficulties. And Michael, I'm sort of referring back to you, I'm sure you will relate to this. And I'm sure many of you out there will relate to this, whether it's through something within your family, whether it's a sibling or whether it's your parents, whether it's a teacher, whoever it is who puts that first drop of poison into you, that first drop of negativity into you, whatever that is, whatever we call it, the bottom brick, whoever it was, and whatever that was that this person did or said that made us start to build the wall, a wall of protection. And so many of us are still, even as adults, we're hiding behind that wall. We don't even know how to break the wall down. And we become so, we build the wall up, the more we hurt and the more poison is sort of put into us by negativity, by people being mean, or by people just being indifferent. That we start to build the protection. We start to build a wall around ourselves. And then what happens, unfortunately, is as we build a wall, we're not only protecting ourselves from everybody, we've trapped ourselves from everybody as well. We've trapped inside the wall. And so we have difficulty now communicating. We have difficulty expressing our emotions. We have difficulty in so many different ways as to how to deal with relationships, because we've learned, over a period of time, and it's sort of learning from birth, to protect ourselves, which that protection then becomes the thing that so often destroys us and so often destroys our relationships, because we haven't learned how to talk to each other, we haven't learned how to communicate, we haven't learned how to show our emotions or to share our emotions. And the webinar that we're going to be that we're going to be doing, is it the 22nd of November, Chris?
21st.
The 21st of November. It's a Saturday morning anyway. And so the webinar that we're going to be doing is talking about what is hidden behind the wall, the poisons that we encounter along the way. And Michael, you mentioned, and it's a very good example actually, you mentioned whenever your father comes back, he just comes back to cause trouble. Little tiny drops of poison that we absorb. We don't even realize we're swallowing the poison. We have no clue what we're doing. But every time we swallow the poison, another brick comes up in the wall, and we try to find another way to protect ourselves or to insulate ourselves from the hurts and pains that are caused by either indifference, or deliberate harming, deliberate abuse, or whatever the reason. And so I really feel that we need to learn to, if we take out that bottom brick and we pull the wall down along with it, what a scary thought that is, isn't it? Being open, being vulnerable, because after all, isn't that why we built the wall? We don't want to be vulnerable. But if we're not vulnerable, and if we don't allow ourselves to show our emotions or to communicate, we're never ever going to have a relationship that means anything really at all. And at the end of the day, we die miserable and unhappy. So we're going to be knocking down some walls this month, and this is what the theme of this these next few weeks are going to be. The theme is family, embracing the good, learning to deal with the negative, and just sort of trying to knock down the walls that prevent us from being the person we really want to be. Yes, Chris, keep going.
Betta's on. Good morning, Rosemary from Italy.
Good
I
morning.
wonder if it's possible today to know if there's any of my loved ones who have something to tell me. If it's not there and it doesn't matter, I'm happy all the same.
She's lovely. You are lovely, darling. It isn't there at the moment. But let's keep going.
Mark
I'm
is
so
on.
impressed with you, though, because I know it's coming to you at some point. I know you persevere. Yes. Chris.
Okay, Mark is on.
Yes. Good morning, Mark.
Peace to Gray Eagle and you, Rosemary.
Thank you.
I've been experiencing doubt over several issues and know my spirit guide and personal angel, G, has been struggling to get me to listen. Do you have any special messages from them for me? My family is in anger toward another over my parents' estate, and will there be a settlement? Hope is my refuge and my willful determination. Side note, we should own our things and no one would want our life's possessions. I could care less, honestly. That will be things of this world, and I'm not taking anything with me except my own skin.
Exactly. Exactly. One day I'm going to tell you all about my biscuit barrel. I'll tell you the story of the biscuit barrel. It is such a small and a petty thing, but created havoc within my family. When it's so awful. And as I said, I had this consultation with this lovely lady this week who was at her wit's end and felt so guilty about things for various reasons. And look, just I don't care what you think you're entitled to, all of you out there, you who are fighting and arguing, and so many people who fight and argue never really paid much attention to the parents when they were around anyway. I mean, we're not entitled to what our parents have or don't have. We are not entitled to any of it. You're a child. They brought you up. They gave you what you needed. They fed you. I take it. They clothed you. They fed you. They clothed you. They gave you an education, and that's really all any of us deserve. Mark, I'm so sorry for you. Also, gosh, you know, the anger, isn't it ridiculous, this anger that people, this self-righteous anger that people hold on to? And if any of you out there who are experiencing this same anger, and you're having a situation, or you've had a situation where you feel that you were left out, or that you deserved something that you didn't get, then would you get a grip? We deserve what we earn, and we don't always get that, but we don't deserve to profit from anybody else. If somebody else chooses, whether it's a parent or a neighbor or whoever it is, if somebody else wants to give us something, how nice for us and how kind of them. And that's the end of it. If they choose not to, too bad. It's called life, and you're not entitled. Nobody should be entitled. My daughter is not entitled to my jewellery. She's going to have a conniption. She's not entitled to my jewellery, but she's going to get it just the same. But that doesn't mean that she's entitled to it. She gets it because I choose to give it to her before I die, by the way. But she's not entitled, and that's the end of that. And thank goodness she's a person who, like you, Mark, she makes her own way. She'll deal with things in her own way. She's not looking to benefit from anything that I have, whether it's contacts, connections, or whatever it is. She's already benefited. I've been the best mother I know how to be. I think I've been a pretty good mother. She might disagree with me. I'm sure she has criticisms, as she should, because I've not been a perfect mother. But I've given her everything of my heart. I've given her everything that I possibly can. I've given her amazing opportunities. I've given her all of the love that I possess. I've given my grandson all the love I possess. I give them as much time as it's possible to give them. And they're not expecting, they're not entitled to anything else, and nor should they be. So, Mark, rise above the fray. If people are angry, don't let it touch you. Let it go. If they want to do that, rise above it, my darling. Rise above it. What's happening is all of this negative energy is obviously affecting you. What your brother is saying to you is, hey, come on, trust you. Get back to yourself. Rise above the fray. Do not get involved. Do not try. And I know, Mark, you want peace. You want everybody to like each other. It won't happen. It won't happen. No matter how much you strive to bring people together, don't do it, darling. Really, just rise above it all and let them deal with the anger. Let them kill each other. Let them bring all the negativity they want to each other, but you avoid it. Rise above it. Let them at it. Okay, Chris.
Vicky's asking,
I feel as if I've really started something here.
but it's like us all at some points when we've gone home and you're sitting at the Thanksgiving table, all those little petty squabbles do come up, and you're giving people tools here right now. So if they actually have the opportunity during COVID to be with people, they know how to protect themselves. So,
or even because a lot of people are doing things online now, or even when you're online, I had occasion the other day, I was online with my grandson. We were just, we were talking. Well, I was actually online with my daughter, but I could hear my grandson in the background getting really upset. because there was a person there who was talking to him in a way that was so disparaging. Had I been there, that person would not have been there, I can assure you, because I'm very protective of my own. And I heard this person say, and you could stop crying, you know, and gosh, I remember how many times I used to hear that as a child, like this, and you could, you know, no need to cry, smack across the head. We just got, of course, it's designed to make you cry, and I just couldn't help myself. I shouted through the, you know, the thing. I know I was heard. Well, it's no wonder if you're going to speak to him in that way. Of course, he's going to get upset, you know. But anyway, what am I saying here? Try and rise above it. Try if you can to rise above it and not get bogged down into the negativity. Luckily, I was able to, we had a long conversation with my grandson, my daughter and I, later on about that same issue, and saying how, you know, people can only allow you, people can only do to you what you allow them to do. And it's a hard concept for a 7-year-old to understand, but I just kept saying to him, if you let them hurt you, then they will. You've got to rise above it. You've got to just move past when people are being mean to you or when people are shouting at you. You've got to just rise above it and just, you know, and move on and make it your choice. And hopefully as he gets a little older, he'll understand that. Chris.
Vicky saying, when I'm in a crowd and receive a sign from my son, do others see it? A song on the radio meant for me. Is it playing on everyone's radio? A license plate with my son's birthday. Do all see it?
Well, all in the spirit world see it, that's for sure. But I'm not sure, you know, that not everybody sees it, because not everybody's paying attention, are they? Not everybody's listening. Not everybody's looking. But as long as you see it, and as long as your son knows that you see these things and hear these things, that is the most important thing. And wow, you know, what all of these wonderful signs that your son is sending to you, how lovely is that? And stop worrying if anybody else can see it, because these things are just for you. They're just for you. Yes, Chris.
Steve is on.
Morning, Steve.
My relationship with my 22-year-old daughter has been very strained for years. She hasn't spoken to me in 4 years and does not respond to texts or emails.
Oh.
She feels as though I abandoned her when her mom left me, and I've been unable to overcome these feelings. I continue to look for paths, but have not yet succeeded. How may I find the right path to reconciliation?
Well, whoever's fault it was or wasn't is not the issue now, is it? The issue now is that, and I do applaud you for this, my darling. You would like to have a relationship with her, and she is of the mind, you know, that she doesn't want anything to do with you. So, all right. So this, my suggestion is, and it requires an awful lot of patience on your part. My suggestion is this, and I once, a long time ago, I have a great relationship with my daughter, but we were estranged for little tiny bit of a while, over a period of a few weeks. That's not what you're talking about, is it? We're talking 4 years. But this is my suggestion. It's the only thing I feel that you can do. First of all, just send out a prayer to God and to the universe to help you to see if you can find a way to reconnect. But my suggestion is that once or twice a week, you simply either send her a text. Now, if she really didn't want to talk to you, you wouldn't be able to do it, would you? Because she'd have blocked you. So on some level, she does want to hear from you. So keep that in mind. So you can send a text or a card or, you know, a communication of some kind, or you can just, when you know she's out, preferably, you pick up the phone and you call a number and you just say, I'm just wanting you to know that I'm thinking about you. That's it. Or you send her a card saying, I just want you to have a wonderful day. I'm just thinking of you. Or you text her and say, hey, just thinking about you. You do not try to explain yourself. You do not try to go into depth or please talk to me, or you do not ask for anything from this girl. You ask for nothing. You don't ask for her understanding. You don't ask for her to listen to you. You don't ask for one single thing from her. You just let her know once or twice a week, just thinking about you, hope you're doing okay. That's all you do. But you've got to be consistent, and it's got to be on a regular basis. And eventually she'll get the idea that you're actually not asking her for anything. That's when, if you play your cards right, you're patient, that's when she will start to lean towards you. Well, why does he keep doing this? Why is he just saying, have a nice day? Why isn't he asking to see me? And at some point, she'll ask you why. And then you can turn around and say, well, I'd love to meet you. I just didn't want to intrude in your life until you were ready. It's hard. It's very hard to do. That's what I did with my daughter. She really got upset with me for it. But she could have easily cut me off. She could have easily sort of, got me off whatever, the phone, or changed the phone, or there are ways and means if you really don't want to speak to somebody. But if you're able to be in touch with her still, it means on some level she wants you in her life. Don't get too excited about it. Just be very patient and just once or twice a week, hoping you're having a nice day. Just, I'm at so and so. I'm in the mountains. You reminded me of you. I just want to say hi. That's, or I'm shopping, or I'm eating your favorite, whatever it is, your favorite food. Just thinking about you. Little, tiny, little things, short, sweet, to the point, and then be patient. She'll come back to you. She will. It might take a little while though. Can you let us know how it goes? Yes, Chris.
Michael had responded to your earlier question, how old was he when this happened? And he was 9 years old.
Oh, my darling boy. Oh, my heart goes out to you. My heart really does go out to you. I mean, you were not even old enough to be coping properly with the passing of your mother, and then to have to be abandoned by your father at that age. But I think that this is, in some weird way, this is the gift of pain. It's such a gift to you because you became the sensitive and the gentle and the caring person that you are. And without these experiences, perhaps you wouldn't be who you are. And that would be a shame. Okay, Chris.
Terry says, I haven't spoken to my youngest sister since my son transitioned to heaven. She is so uncaring. She has always been selfish, so it didn't surprise me, but it gave me that final straw to let her go.
It's so sad when you hear these things. And, sometimes just bear this in mind, my love. Sometimes, uh, you know, when a tragedy like this happens, you're losing your son, there are people out there, they just simply don't know what to say. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know what to say about it. And it could be that with this happening, she had such guilt over past issues that you both had, and over the past experiences that you had together when you were children, that now she just simply doesn't want to face you because she can't. If you've let go and you don't want a relationship with her, that's perfectly fine, and that's a good thing. Um, if, however, as you get older or down the line a little bit, that you might want to attempt some sort of reconciliation, try doing what I've just suggested. You can send a little note, and I think I'm not here doing you any good, am I? I think you did the right thing. Moving on. Yes, moving on. So, Chris.
Karen says, hello, Rosemary.
Hi, Karen.
Today is 42 years that both of my brothers passed away as teenagers in a tragic accident. A hard day for her. I will be spending the day with my mother.
Oh
Any
God.
message from Gray Eagle for my mom?
I was going to say no, but actually, Grable has got his hand on my shoulder here. Um, First of all, can you tell your mum I'm hearing we've grown bigger, stronger? I'm hearing somebody chuckling in my left ear here. We're handsome. We're together. When we visit, we kiss her one on each cheek. She knows this because she feels us there. You might consider that we're your angels, but we think you're an angel. So that's the message for you. Because you are such a loving and a caring person. For some reason, I'm also to tell you, we sometimes dance a Scottish reel. Tell Mum. I don't know why that is. It's a very weird message. It's all yours. And that they are fine and sending lots of love to you. So I hope that helps you, my lovely. If you can understand the Scottish reel, we'd love to know, wouldn't we, Chris?
Absolutely.
I'd like to know what that's about. All right. Yes.
All right, Donna's next.
Good morning, Donna.
Hi, I have to say, being adopted has been quite the challenge. I always feel I have to prove myself over and over. My mom passed away a couple of years now. There's 4 of us. My dad wanted my brother to give me and one other brother a part of his own money and to split it between the 2 of us. But my brother, who is in charge of everything, said to my father, "Oh, there will be plenty of other money." Like, who is he to not allow my father to do what he wants?
Right.
I really don't care about his money, but it's like my brother is trying to tell my dad that he is allowed to what he is allowed to do with his money. How should I deal with this? I feel like when my dad goes, I need to just leave my brothers behind. I think that would be I think I would be better off without them.
Well, that's so sad. There's such a sad situation, my darling. I do understand the feeling of being adopted, and I don't think this feeling of being inadequate comes from your parents, but perhaps from your siblings, maybe. And you are right. What I would suggest that you do is that you get your family together. Thanksgiving is coming up. You may not be in this country, but any excuse for a party works, right? But you get them all together, and you get them all together so you can all sit down and listen to what it is that your father wants. Everybody then hears it. You can make notes, or somebody else can make notes. And you say to your father, if you want to leave it all to your brothers, I think that's fine. And if you don't, that's also fine. But can you tell us, the group, can you tell us what your wishes are? And, when you communicate and you're communicating in that way, I think that's a really good thing. If, one of your family decide, no, we're not doing that, then, you have more than one sibling, right? So take someone with you, or 2 someones with you, and just sit quietly with your dad and say, can you tell us what it is that you'd really like? And then we'll try our very best to make sure that that happens. And I think having, the loss of your mother is a very good reason why you should now. For instance, you have to know, does he want to be buried? Does he want to be cremated? Does he want this and this? And it should be family decisions. It should be all the siblings together. And of course, if you feel that someone is trying to separate you, then take the initiative and, just take the initiative and say, this is what we want to do. And, and see how that goes. and let us know, my lovely, would you? Yes, Chris.
Leah is on. And I think she's a non-English speaker. So she asks, pray for my daughter that lives with her father and abandoned me. Pray for her and your heart that returned to me, that she loves me. Is there a message from my daddy for me?
Leah, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you, and I think that when all else fails, I'm a great believer in prayer, and I'm a great believer in collective prayer. Um, but rather than asking, and I know that you want your daughter to come back to you, I do understand that, but what I would ask for you is that whatever is the right thing for all of you, that is what happens. Whatever this child needs is what is what you want, and is hopefully is what will happen for her. I think you have to put your own wants and needs to one side, especially when it's your children. Whatever is right for that child, and if it's right for that child to be with you, and we hope that it is, then that's then send out that prayer, my darling, and that's certainly, Chris, if you could write this down for us, because we certainly are going to put you in on our healing list, in our healing book, and we're going to ask for the right outcome, for whatever God considers is the right outcome. I hope that helps you, my sweetheart. Yes, Chris.
Pina is on.
Good morning, Peanut.
Hello, Rosemary. I love your books. The
Thank
first
you.
time I saw you at the Maurizio Costanza show, and
Okay.
from then I bought your lovely books. Excuse my English, it's a bit rusty.
Well, I know you're Italian because Maurizio Costanza is Italian, and I love that man. But yes, go on.
I am from Milano, Italy.
Yes.
Can I ask of you a question? Is my mother and brother, Philomena and Giulio, around? We miss them a lot. Thank you.
Um, so I'm listening to Grey Eagle when he's has his hand on my shoulder. The answer to your question, I do wonder why you're asking this question. I think you're just simply looking for confirmation. But yes, they are always around, and also especially at Christmas time. And I know it's a few weeks yet for Christmas to be coming around, but apparently they love being there at Christmas time. I know that you get sad. I know that your family gets sad, but they are there. So if you could sort of, yes, they understand your tears, but if you could try to enjoy yourselves knowing that they are with you, and then trying to enjoy Christmas with you too, because Christmas apparently is a very special time for them, and they know it's a very special time for you and your family. So I hope that helps, my darling. Yes, Chris.
Gigi On asks, I have an opportunity to apply for a charge nurse position from a floor nurse. Do you in Grey Eagle feel?
Do it. Do it. Do
I
it. Do
don't
it. Do
even
it.
need to read the question.
Oh, sorry. Okay, read the question
No,
then.
you answered it, but there's sort of a second part to it.
Go ahead.
How do the staff nurses feel about me?
Not so well. you know, I'm sure that you are liked by some and not so much liked by others. Look, listen, it doesn't matter what other people feel about you, it's what you feel about yourself. You have an opportunity coming. Embrace it, embrace it, embrace it, and just keep embracing. There'll be more opportunities. There'll be more opportunities for growth. Just uh, this is who you are. Embrace it. Embrace who you are, and don't be put off by the negatives, but embrace the positives. Go, Chris.
Okay, I just want to tell you it's 1 minute before noon.
Oh, how did it get to be 1 minute before noon? I don't know. What can I say? Keep going.
Caliphonic asks, good morning to all. Dear Rosemary, can I ask if Gray Eagle has a message for me? Thank you in advance.
Not, oh, I was going to say not right now, but here is the message for you, which you may not understand. The message is dry your tears, stop being sad, put on a positive face. Eventually, you know, the more you pretend to smile, the more the smile will come. I remember years ago forcing myself to smile when I walked into a room because I knew that people did not want to see a miserable face. Eventually, you realize, wait a minute, it's real. It's a real smile. So dry your tears and keep smiling. Yes, Chris, a couple more.
Well, Kim wants to know wants to tell you you are so sweet and lovely. Steve
Oh,
says
Kim, thank you.
Steve says, thank you very much, Rosemary. I will follow your advice and continue to pray as well.
Good, 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 good.
Jackie wants to know what the name of their guardian angel is.
Oh gosh, well, look to your family. We're doing a webinar on angels. You might learn something if you go to our. That reminds me, I've forgotten to say something, Chris. We are putting out our monthly newsletter. It's coming out anytime now. If you want the newsletter, if you want to know what I'm up to or what I'm doing or where I'm going to be, please go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com. My daughter just redesigned the whole thing. Chris redesigned the whole thing, should say, and my daughter did all of the writing and the blurb and helped to design. Would you say that's right, Chris?
It was a great partnership.
So there you have it. So go to my website, which is up and running again, Rosemary at Rosemary Altea. No, sorry. So no, forget that. I just said that. RosemaryAltea.com. And you'll see somewhere there's a little button that says subscribe. You're not really subscribing to anything except you'll be on our mailing list, and that just means you'll just be notified when we're up to something or when we're doing something. And I know that many of you will want to know what we're up to and what we're doing, so just click on that subscribe button and that will send you automatically onto our mailing list. So what was there a question? I forgot what the question was there a question?
Well, you had been talking to Jackie about who is the name of my guardian angel.
Oh, right. Right. So yes, so the webinar. So if you want to know more about how to stop the poison or how to get rid of the poison or how to get rid of the anxieties and the worries that you've allowed life to create within you, actually, let's be clear. If you want to know how to deal with those anxieties, how to take that wall down, for goodness sake, it's time we all started doing that, isn't it? If you want to become more open, more aware, and if you want to heal yourself, that's the most important thing. Go find the information on the website about our upcoming webinar, which is on the 21st of November. And don't be fazed by when it says taking down the brick wall, because now you know what that means. And we also have one in December because it is, after all, Christmas. Or I'm told, my daughter said I shouldn't say it's Christmas, I should say it's the holidays. She's quite right, but for me it is still Christmas and it is a Christmas holiday. And what a great time to talk about angels. So go to our website, rosemaryaltea.com, and subscribe. We'll send you all the details. Anything else going on, Chris?
Oh, there's always messages that people have. We just can't get to them all in this small amount of time.
I promise that we will read all of the comments. I will read all of the comments that you send, and I do appreciate them. And we'll do our best next week. Anything else, Chris?
No, I think this is good.
Well, that's it then. So, all right. So, golly, it comes to an end so quickly, doesn't it? So we should be back next week, same time, same place, with the spirit world sees all, and we know that they do. I hope that this has been a good little bit of advice for all of you out there who are struggling with family right now. And we shall be continuing this theme through to the end of November. All about family, all about, you know, the angst and the upsets and the traumas that family causes. And I'll do my best to give you the best advice I can give to you so that you can deal with these issues in a sensible and in a healing way. We should be back for our story time. Who knows what it is that we're going to tell a story about. I've had 2 or 3 ideas running through my head. I wish I'd write them down, because if I write them down, I don't forget them. But if I don't write them down, they're gone in a heartbeat. In the meantime, we shall have story time 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday morning. And so, you know, please join us for that. Feel free to join us for that. We are going to be doing all sorts of other things. So, you know, subscribe and you'll be on my mailing list and you'll know what else we're going to be up to in the new year. All sorts of things are coming, I hope. Chris is working me to death. Chris, you're killing me.
Hey,
Anyway,
before you sign off, Karen says, "Thank you so much, Rosemary. I know your message will mean so much for my mother."
it's my pleasure to give it to you. That's what I'm about. It's my pleasure to do this. Remember, I'm not a voice for all of you out there. I know you might like listening to me, but my first priority is to be the voice of the spirit world. So I do hope that the message from your brothers, my darling, was helpful to you. All right. So what am I saying? Yes. So Saturday morning story time. If I don't see you before, please have a very, very blessed rest of the day. Email me if you need to. Rosemary, gosh, gone blank. Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com, or go to my website and subscribe. And if you want to sort of join in or make comments, or feel free, you know, because we love to hear from you. And hopefully I'll see you on Saturday morning. Please have a very blessed rest of the day. Have a very blessed rest of the week, everybody. And I'll keep my fingers crossed that you're all going to listen to my story. It could be a story about the first time I ever went into trance publicly. It could also, it could be anything, couldn't it? It could be anything at all. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Or am I naughty or what? I hope to see you on Saturday. Remember, if you can't make Saturday morning live, you can always find us on the YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter. What else have we just done? LinkedIn. You can find me on find me on LinkedIn. And I'd love, if anybody has read the article that we put out on LinkedIn, I'd love to have your opinion on that too. You're going to learn a lot about me on LinkedIn, I can assure you, because I'm going to be writing articles at least. I'll do my best to write an article at least once a week. No promises, but that's what I'm going to aim for. And in the meantime, I love you all. Thank you for your help and support. I'd like to say thank you to Great Eagle. As always, thank you, Chris. You've been fantastic as usual. And thank you all of you for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye-bye, everybody.